Hello and welcome to another LEGO Train Showcase video. This is an LBSCR E2 that was designed by British Bricks, and the instructions to make this model was purchased on Block Junction. So whilst I already have my own Thomas the Tank Engine model, it is actually quite nice to have the real thing. Then again, I'm pretty sure you know what I'm going to do with this in good time. So this is again a model that was designed by YouTuber British Bricks, and he has collaborated with fellow Alienware member Will, who runs Block Junction, to sell the instructions on his website. Now, if you want to be able to build this model, the instructions are again on his website, of which I will link in the description. This is a very good looking model, and the way this was put together was quite interesting. I have my own building style, and since this was built by British Bricks, it's interesting to see how he puts a few bricks together. But yes, it's very fascinating to put this model together, and it was also a lot of fun. So the instructions that I bought were for the extended water tank and to have the front splasher, again kind of reminiscent of the Thomas character itself. Now, the overall build is basically the same for all three variants, it's just these small details up front that are different. And the overall shape and design is captured very well, all the details at the front. I love the smoke box details. I have had to make a few changes due to kind of brick availability, like the funnel, which is something that is otherwise replaced with a kind of, what would you call it, like a string Technic brick? It's actually quite interesting. Some of the teeth pieces down here are quite interesting. The steps to get into the cab are also parts I've had to exchange, of which I didn't have and didn't order in time along with other Bricklink orders when it came to getting this model made. However, I did get all the wheels and all the other bricks done in time, and it is just such a good looking model. The only thing I think is quite weird, not a bad thing, but is kind of odd. Good God, this model is long. I mean, the E2s were massive tank engines, but it's surprisingly in scale. It's just, the length of it is so bizarre because the tank engines I've built are tiny ones, and this is just massive. The instructions that I bought was also the unpowered variant, and I'm guessing a circuit cube is supposed to go where this black block is. It's kind of interesting how this whole cab area comes together, because it's easy to take off and put back on, but it's not exactly level either. You can only see it up close when you're holding the model in your hand, and it's going to be a bit too difficult for me to get on camera, but ultimately it's very interesting to see how you would actually power this model. Circuit cubes is definitely the way to go in the future, especially for tank engines and smaller tender engines. So maybe one day I'll give it a go, but sadly not today, not with this model. The wheels used for this model is the standard medium-sized drive wheels from Big Ben Bricks. Now, I have some black ones for this model, as is shown for the actual instructions, but again, for some modifications that will be happening soon enough, these will be replaced with some blue ones. There is something that you can't quite see because of how tucked in this all is, but at a few locations along the running board, there are these sort of side L-shaped pieces with some studs on the side of them, and given the type of brick that is, there are a few exposed studs that rub up against the flanges of the wheels. Again, it's very difficult for me to get the camera in there to kind of show you, mainly because my camera can't focus when there's something so close up to it in the to begin with. But it does feel like there's a bit of friction with the wheels. I can't have it run at all. There's no sort of free running on it whatsoever. If I put my hand on it and actually kind of make it move like this, of course it will turn nicely, but there's no ability for this model to roll on its own. And that's a bit of a shame, because I don't like the fact that there's a friction on the wheels, but then again, this isn't my design of model, and Sam, who is the guy who runs British Bricks, is a complete maniac with how he builds his model. He's on a completely different level. So in order to get the thin running board, I'm sure that's a very viable detail for him, but for me, that would be a massive change. So yeah, I mean, it's more of a preference sort of thing, and it's getting to understand how other people would build their models. That's the only downside I would say to this, but ultimately it's such a clever and cool design. And that is it for this LEGO Train Showcase video. Thank you all ever so much for watching. Once again, the instructions to build this model was purchased on Block Junction. I will leave a link to that website in the description. A massive shout out to Block Junction for selling some amazing instructions. This is going to be undoubtedly a very popular set of instructions. And a massive shout out to British Bricks, who made this design to begin with. You are such a clever boy. Again, when it came to making this, there were some design techniques I thought, that's very interesting. Something I might be able to use in the future, and other details I thought, I'm not too sure if I could agree, again, with how some of the studs kind of rub up against the drive wheels. But that's nothing major. I mean, I'm not going to really design and build my own locomotives with that sort of detail in mind. But ultimately, it was just such a fascinating build. And now it's time to turn it into Thomas. Oh dear God, what am I going to do? So, thanks again for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.